Greetings, demons, and welcome to Warhammer Weekly, episode 62, and we have a hell of a lot to go over, so I'm not going to blabber too much, no pickups or anything like that this week, so let's get straight into topics right after this intro.
Not the leader of a cult, RabbitWithAxe.
And jumping straight into everything that we have got this week, starting off with the fact that there has actually been 2 previews this week, which has been insane. Is the main reason why this video is probably like half an hour long. I'm hoping it's shorter than that, but let's see. And that was the Warhammer preview, which obviously covers the 40k, 30k, Legions Imperialis, and Necromunda side of things. And then we also had the Mortal Realms Reforged preview with Age of Sigmar as the focus. And yeah, we also had Skulls this week, which is incredible, and we also have a bunch of other random stuff just going on this week. This has been a very, very busy week to be a Warhammer fan. But yeah, a lot of stuff, including Grand Tournaments and stuff, so I'm not going to be going over all that, but yeah, we have a lot to go over. Let's just get into it. And starting off with the reveals from the Warhammer preview show. Starting off with, of course, the Genestealer cults. So, to begin with, I just want to point out that I definitely have a bias out of the 2 factions we're about to talk about, but with that all being said, we have an excellent new HQ for the Genestealers, and this is the Benefactus. And, yeah, this guy is a big brain on so many levels. I love the chitin across the head as well. Really does bring the overall design of, you know, him being pretty far along in his tyrannidification. I really, really like it, and just in general, this is a very nice HQ model. Just, like, there's not really too much to say about him, unfortunately. He looks very similar, other than the massive cranium. It looks very similar to some other HQ options that we have for Genestealer cults. But yeah, I like his little staff with the crescent design, or the spike design, whatever you want to call it, with all the little gems and stuff hanging off of it. The Tyrannid, or the Genestealer, that's kind of, you know, sculpted on the top, which I just think is very, very cool. I hope that that is an optional piece, just so that, you know, potentially I could get multiples of it, just to decorate various things. But yeah, very, very cool new HQ. And of course, along with that, we have the Battle Force, the Biosantic Brood Surge even, which, and I'm going to try and get this in one take, includes the Benefactus, 10 Neophyte Hybrids, the Goliath Rock Grinder, 10 Pure Strain Genestealers, the Abominant with Mindworm Familiar, and 5 Aberrants. Unfortunately, I didn't get in that one take, but you didn't have to know that. I just told you that because I'm being nice. But yeah, great selection, honestly, of different models to actually have. Most of these, unfortunately, I do actually have, though I will say having the vehicles there is a huge bonus. I'm a huge fan of the Rock Grinder, and having more of those is not a problem whatsoever. But yeah, very good Battle Force there. Hopefully it's actually worth the price of admission, but at the end of the day, it's a lot of massable units, a lot of good units in general, and a brand new HQ, so can't really complain too much. And yeah, hopefully that translates into actually being usable in-game. But moving on from that, we also have a Combat Patrol, the Claw of Ascension, and this one includes, once again, trying to get this in one take, the Jackal Alpha with Seamus Dascovian, that's the name of the character, 4 Atalan Jackals with 1 Wolf Quad, 10 Hybrid Metamorphs, and an Achilles Rock Runner. So once again, a very good selection of models there. Nothing that I believe is that good right now, but still some pretty decent stuff. I'm actually quite a fan of all the Speed Freak stuff, so very cool to see it here. And that is everything for the Genestealer reveal, so not actually too much, and this will obviously go into the Adeptus Sororitas. But yeah, very, very cool to see a new HQ here, and in general, I'm very excited for the Codex Genestealers. It's going to be, you know, my, I guess, second Codex pickup of this edition, so very excited for this one, and yeah, just excited for this. I've been looking forward to the Genestealer stuff. I really have, and does not disappoint. Definitely going to be picking up the Combat Patrol because it has a lot of units I don't have, and then I'm probably going to pick up the Battle Force. Let's be honest, I'm probably going to pick it up. But moving on to the Adeptus Sororitas half of the reveals, starting off with their new HQ, the Canoness with a jump pack, and yeah, she looks pretty cool. I'm not a huge fan of Sisters of Battle in general, unfortunately. I've made that opinion pretty clear in the past. Don't care too much for them, personally. I think they're cool, I think they're neat. I do like some of their models, but yeah, in general as a faction, not something that I care too much about. Unfortunately, they are pretty neat in lore, but yeah, as models, not really my cup of tea. But yeah, we do have the Canoness of Jump Pack, who looks very, very cool. I like the customization options with there. You can have hood up or hood down, chainsword, we've got a baton, we've got a regular power sword, we've got a flame pistol or flamer, whatever they're calling it this week. But yeah, just a lot of good options, and I quite like the posing. The fact that she is jumping off of some very sororitas architecture there, some very imperial architecture, I suppose, is very neat in my opinion, and overall, I very much like the aesthetic of this model, and yeah, that's all we're going to say about it. I'm sorry that I can't say more about Sisters of Battle. I just don't really have that much knowledge about them, unfortunately, and they're not really a faction I follow. So, yeah, moving on from that, we do, of course, have their battle force, the Army of Faith, and that, of course, includes the Canoness with Jump Pack, 15 Seraphim or Zephyrim, and a Exorcist tank, which, this feels like a major step back compared to the Gene Stealer battle force, but, you know, if you're a fan of, you know, the faster side of Sororitas, this is actually a pretty good selection of models. Nothing, in my opinion, too special in the grand scheme of things, and if anything, I actually quite prefer the Combat Patrol. So the Combat Patrol doesn't actually have a name, unlike the Gene Stealer one, but it does include a regular Canoness, 5 Celestian Sacrosants, 10 Acroflagellants, and 10 Battle Sisters. And yeah, overall, I think this is, at least to me, a much better box. I think this is more my playstyle, which does help, but yeah, in general, I just think this is a more, you know, Sisters of Battle type box, which makes sense. It's the Combat Patrol, you know, compared to the Battle Force is supposed to be more specific, and the, you know, Combat Patrol is supposed to be more generic, so that newcomers can come into it and get a lot of good units. But yeah, I definitely lean towards the Combat Patrol here, but I don't really have a leg in this race. Tell me, if you're a Sisters of Battle player, tell me which one do you prefer. I think a lot of people are going to be saying the Battle Force, just down to the fact it's got a new model. But yeah, to me, I prefer the Combat Patrol. This is my opinion, though. And jumping into the 30k reveals, we have an entire line refresh, in plastic of course, for Mechanicum, and this of course starts with their Mechanicum battle group, which includes, and I'm gonna try and give a little bit of time to each of these, but there's a lot of stuff to go over. The Phalanx, which is an automaton, that's the wrong word, it's a big mech suit type character. You actually get 6 of them in the battle group, and yeah, these guys look good. They have big, bulky weapons. They're just, you know, big robot guys, even though they're not robots, you know, trust me. Don't want to fall into that trap. But, yeah, they look pretty cool. Nothing too special to me. Once again, just like with Sisters, Mechanicum, AdMech, it's stuff that I like, kind of, but it's not something I'm overly interested in. But yeah, these guys look pretty cool. The Phalanx, and, yeah, you get 6 of them in the battle group. We also have the Absecularis Tech Thralls, which are, well, actual, like, zombies, essentially, as close as you get, really. So, a lot of servitors, essentially, with big, bulky guns, and, yeah, these look pretty cool. You do get 20 in the battle group, and, yeah, overall, pretty interesting. I like the various augments on them, the different helmet options, some of which have 2 eyes, some of which have up to 4. Very interesting design overall, and, yeah, more, you know, techno-zombies, essentially, which is always one of the more fun halves of Mechanicum/AdMech. But, yeah, still very, very cool, and you get 20 of those, as I said. We also have the Trioris Armoured Conveyor. You get 1 of these in the battle group, I do believe, and it's a vehicle. I believe it is a transporter, specifically. It can carry the Phalanx, I do believe, and, yeah, it's a vehicle. It's very AdMech, it's very Mechanicum, and there's not much, unfortunately, for me to say about it. It looks pretty armed to the teeth, which is, you know, what you kind of expect. It also looks very, very big. I wish they actually had it in scale, like, in a picture next to a standard, you know, even, like, an Obscularis Tech Thrall or something, just so we can see it next to, like, a person. But yeah, it looks like a very, very big model, but still very interesting. We also have the Castellax Battle Automata. You actually get 2 of these in the battle group. And these are actual robots, or as close as you get in 40k to robots. And yeah, these guys look pretty cool. Once again, big robot boys, big mech boys, and stomping around with big guns, big saws, big grabbers, and just in general, just a lot of fun weapon options there. Nothing too special. Once again, I don't have that much to say about them, unfortunately, but yeah, they look pretty neat. And then we also have the Thanatar Cavus Siege Automata, which is a big boy. This guy is not included in the battle group, but is still pretty cool. Once again, a big mech type unit, and yeah, a gigantic cannon on the shoulder, as well as some pretty big guns on the wrist. And in general, just, yeah, very AdMech, very Mechanicum. Don't have much else to say about it. A lot of these, at least aesthetically, are very similar, so they get very sameish to me, as someone who doesn't really care about the faction. But yeah, still very, very cool. And then the final unit that has been shown off is the Archmagos Prime. And this guy is very much the, you know, leader model, the HQ type model. And he looks pretty interesting. Very robotic. Very humanoid though still, which is always cool to see. And yeah, in general, very much what you imagine when you think of an Archmagos, especially one that is an Archmagos Prime. And yeah, he's covered in weapons all around him. He's got, you know, the pointy fingers, he's got the big staff, big hat, big cloak, all the fun little things like that. And yeah, once again, not included in the battle group, but still a very, very nice model. And yeah, that is everything for Mechanicum. So a very nice range refresh, a lot of really nice models, and I'm sure plenty of people are going to be very excited with this. And there's not much else I can say, unfortunately. Like, it's a lot of good models. I'm glad that they're getting a battle group, so you're actually going to get a lot of them at a discount. But yeah, nothing, at least in my opinion, to write home about, other than the fact that, yay, Mechanicum is back. Good to see them, and yeah, hopefully we get even more units in the near future, because I know people really do love Mechanicum. For me, personally, I'm looking for Dark Mechanicum specifically, but yeah, still very nice to be getting new Mechanicum units. And finally, for the reveals from the Warhammer preview show, we do have some stuff for Legions Imperialis, the Epic game mode, and yeah, all this is Solar Auxilia stuff, or at the very least Imperial stuff, as to be expected, and with that comes a few new tanks, which I'm going to very quickly gloss over, because not only do I not really care about tanks, but I can't tell which one is which from these pictures, so I'm just going to tell you them all, and you can have a look at them in your own time. But yeah, we have the Sabre Strike Tank, the Sicaran Arcus, the Sicaran Punisher, and then 4 new Lehman Russ variants: Exterminator, the Annihilator, the Executioner, and the Demolisher. And yeah, they all look like tanks. That's all I can say. I really don't care about tanks in 30k. I'm really sorry that if you do, but yeah, for me it just does not do anything for me, and I have no idea. These all look like tanks, and that's all I can really say about it. So yeah, that is everything for Legions Imperialis. Not really much at all for them, but yeah, there is a lot of other little tidbits of news and updates and stuff about the game. If you are interested in that sort of thing, the links, of course, will all be in the description to everything I'm discussing. And yeah, let's move on to the next preview of the week. Hey, Future Luna here. I completely forgot about the Necromunda reveals, which were obviously part of the same bit as all the 40k and 30k stuff. So, going back to that, for Necromunda, we have Hive Secundus, which is its own standalone game that obviously has a lot of aspects that you can use in regular Necromunda. And within it, you get 2 Oris Spire Hunters, a Cariatic Prime, 8 Van Sar Tech Hunters, 6 Malstrain Gene Stealers, and 4 Malstrain Tyramites. And on top of that, you also get 8 Brood Scum, which are just the Hive Scum with new heads. And the interesting thing about everything there, except for the Brood Scum, is they are actually completely new in plastic, which is great to see new models in plastic compared to, you know, the stuff that we've seen in the past from Necromunda that's all been in, I was going to say vinyl, in Forge World resin. But yeah, some very cool models here. I'm not going to go into too much details because Necromunda isn't something I overly focus on, but yeah, very cool models. If you are interested in checking out more of the details here, I think it's worth it. The Tyranids, Gene Stealers, should I say, are very cool, and I very much want them. But yeah, everything is pretty nice here, but nothing too special in my opinion. Definitely going to be picking up some of those Gene Stealer models though. They are very, very cool. So, moving on to the Mortal Realms Reforged preview, we have a lot to go over. Starting off with the Stormcast Eternals, we have a lot of new models to go over, with the Lord Vigilant on Gryffstalker, who is a very mighty little guy, big guy, riding on essentially a Gryffhound. And yeah, he looks pretty cool. Nothing really overly special in that. That is going to go for most of the stuff we're going to talk about. I'm going to mention fun aspects of each of these, but in general, if you've seen a Stormcast, you've seen all of them. They look great. I'm not going to spend too much time going over them just because As you know, I don't personally play good old Stormcast. My partner does. They're just not something that I spend too much time with. I paint plenty of them because I have to, but yeah, I don't really care too much about the individual models. We also have the Lord Veritant, who comes with a very nice doggo. Once again, a Griffhound. But yeah, he has a big torch, a flaming sword, all sorts of really nice iconography. I love the shield on his back, especially covered in little tapestry and stuff with the little skull face on it. It's a very nice aesthetic, and the fact that he's seemingly blind is kind of an interesting choice. I don't know how to feel about that one, but yeah, very, very neat. We have the Lord Terminus, who comes with a little friend, and yeah, he has a big battle axe, he's flowing in the wind, and yeah, I think the big takeaway is that he has a little friend. That's always nice. You should always bring your friends into battle. There's also the Knight Quester, which yeah, is a pretty generic kind of hero model. Definitely the kind of thing you could utilize in a D&D campaign. And then, amongst all that, we also have the Reclusians and the Prosecutors that we've already gone over in previous videos, as well as the Liberators, which I swear I have gone over these, but I don't think I have, so I've either missed them in a previous video, or they are actually a new reveal. But in any case, these guys look great. They're very generic Stormcast, some of which have hammers, some of which have... Actually, do they all have hammers? I thought one had an axe. No, they all have hammers. Never mind. Ignore what I just said. They have a mixture of hammers and shields, basically, and yeah, they look pretty cool, even if pretty generic overall. And yeah, that is the Stormcast side of the Mortal Realms Reforged preview. So, moving over to the Skaven half of that preview, we have the Clawlord on Norbeast, which is obviously very much an equivalent to the Lord Vigilant on Gryffstalker. This is a lovely Clawlord, a lovely rat boy riding on a much bigger, more monstrous rat boy. And yeah, I love these guys. They have an uncanny cuteness despite how grotesque they are. And yeah, we have a rat with a gun and a spear riding on the most horrific looking rotten rat you could imagine. He looks great. I love him. I love the armor options as well. Give him a bit of variety. And yeah, in general, just a very, very nice new model. We also have the Grey Seer, who looks pretty cool. I like that he is actually a horned rat. It's something we don't see too often, but obviously works with the mythos of the Skaven. And yeah, this guy is more generic, I'd say. He has a big staff, a big knife. I'd say the big takeaway is the fact that he is actually a horned rat, which I think is just really fun to see. And then we also have the Rat Ogres, which I believe these are a reimagining. I don't think I've spoken about these before, but yeah, just big rat boys, very much mutated and augmented, covered in the green crystal rock things that are transforming them, and yeah, runes and stuff like that. Very, very cool units, and yeah, very much something that I like the aesthetic of, even if you may find them grotesque. And then otherwise, we have a bunch of stuff that I've already spoken about in previous videos. The Rattling Warp Blaster, Warlock Engineer, Clan Rats, and Warplock Jezzails, which, yeah, still as cool as when I first spoke about them. But yeah, that is everything for Skaven. Very nice selection there. So moving on to the main event, so to speak, for this whole... you know, Age of Sigmar sort of reveal, we of course have Skaventide, which is the new box, and with the launch box you actually get 24 Stormcast Eternals, 50 Skaven, and then 4 terrain pieces, amongst all the normal gubbins that you get in a starter box. And yeah, it seems like a good selection. I'm going to let you go and check out the article if you're really interested in the specifics. I'm going to go over them here because it's a lot of the stuff that I've just mentioned or mentioned in previous weeks. But yeah, a lot of very good models, and definitely worthwhile if you play either Stormcast or Skaven. This box may get me into Skaven, who knows, but we'll really see when it comes out, because as I say, my partner plays Stormcast, I currently play Oryx, but that could all change to Skaven in the future, same as how it could just change to Seraphon randomly, but we'll get into that in another video. And then alongside that, we are also getting the Spearhead with the Fire and Jade Battle Pack. So this includes 4 terrain pieces, along with a bunch of extra rules and items, as well as game boards to be able to play an entirely separate game mode, which is very, very nice. And if you're getting the actual launch box, you may as well get the Spearhead as well. That's my opinion. I'm not telling you what to do, but I think it's a good combo. It means you've got 2 games right off the bat that you can just play with your Stormcast and your Skaven, which is always very nice, as well as a bit of variety in terms of game boards and terrain and stuff, which is always nice to see. And that leaves us with the final, sector of the Warhammer community, and that is the Middle-earth strategy battle game content. Of course, they're continuing with the road goes on. Wait, no. The road goes ever on and on. Is that the quote that they're going with? Is it in the article? It is the article. The road goes ever on and on. The monthly blog. So yeah, last time that we spoke about this, or last month, we spoke about how there was going to be a new banner waver, a new banner icon, a new character with a spear with a flag on it, basically. And that is revealed this month to be Argadir, Captain of Arnor. And yeah, this guy looks pretty cool. There's an on foot and a mounted version of him. I don't know much about this character, if anything. I literally don't know anything, actually. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. I like the mounted version. I think the horse, the proportions are kind of weird, but in like a cartoony sense, I quite like it. But yeah, both versions of this model look great. I like the spear with the flag on it. His sword from the grounded version of him, the on-foot version, I suppose, looks pretty good. And overall, the armor looks very nice. I think personally, if I was going to get this model, which I'm not, I'd probably go with the mounted version just because I like the horse. But yeah, overall, very nice model. I'm sure plenty of people are going to be happy with getting another named character. And yeah, that leaves us with, I guess, the look forward. They don't have a name for it. It's not a Rumour Engine, but it's that kind of thing. And yeah, this one is a cloak, presumably also something to do with Arnor, but I'm not actually sure. I think it's the same faction. It looks like it. And if I was to guess, I'd assume it's another named character. Though, yeah, realistically, who knows? Who knows what this is going to be, other than diehard Lord of the Rings fans, which I'm unfortunately not. I'm trying to get back into it. Mostly because the Lego sets have been recently revealed, but yeah, I haven't actually started rewatching the movies yet, so I may come back next month and actually know what I'm talking about, but for now, my experience with Middle-earth and Lord of the Rings is from about a decade ago, so kind of unfortunate there, but yeah, very cool stuff to look forward to for next month, so yeah, that is pretty cool. And that leaves us with the final topic for the week, which is the Rumour Engine. This is for the 14th of May, 2024, and all I can say is it is a robotic claw. I'm not really sure what to make of it, really. My money is on it being either 30k Mechanicum or 40k AdMech, just because it's that kind of aesthetic. Though, it is bird-like, so hear me out. Maybe it's Corvus Corax? I'm going to keep eating this horse until they actually give me Corvus. I want to see Demon Bird Corvus. I know this is very unlikely because it is clearly robotic. As I'm leaning towards AdMech here, but yeah, I really don't know. It could be any faction, realistically. It's a bird foot that seems to be mechanical. Who knows, but yeah. No, imagine if this is the first reveal we get of Corvus. That would be hilarious, in my opinion, but yeah, I can hope, I can dream. I don't know, I really want my Raven Guard Toucher in the Primarch pack. Please, he's alive, he's one of the few that was alive before. Please just bring him back. But that is everything for this week's insanely long one weekly episode. My voice is going. I've had to stop recording a few times because my throat is just sore as anything from other things, but recording this has not helped. And yeah, it's good though. It's good to have a lot of stuff to talk about. And of course, if you like this video, make sure to like it, subscribe to the and ring that bell so you never miss upload. Otherwise, comment below any thoughts and feelings about anything we've covered today. Very interested in hearing what you thought about the fact there was so many events going on this week. I honestly missed most of them, but yeah, I still get to talk about everything. But yeah, before I have a coughing fit in a second because I can feel it in my throat, that's going to be it from me. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!
Look at the screen, you'll be fine. Culture's a disease, but we'll survive. I just wanna take